What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. So as you can see from those initial shots, we do have some cool JDM parts that are going on this car, and hopefully we'll be able to get through all of this in this video. I'm gonna go through all these parts for you real quick and show you what we got. So we have some pretty cool pieces from the version 7 JDM STI. These were pieces that only came on the Japanese models because Japan was the only place that actually got the bug eye as an STI. So over here we have the shifter bezel. This thing's pretty cool. It's got the STI plate around the outside here of this interior trim piece with the leather shift boot, which is a nice touch. One thing that was really cool about this piece that I really liked is most of the time these are silver, and this was like a special order, I guess, that you could get as an option from the dealer back then to get that trim piece in black. So they had one of them at the importer that I went to and picked this up from, and he was willing to give it to me for the same price as the others that were silver. So I swooped that because it is a nice, rare JDM piece. In addition to that, these are some spats for the version 7 side skirts. So these will actually be going on my side skirts, which are sitting over here. These are the front spats, and they just kind of mount basically like that, and they give the car just a little bit more of a JDM touch, if you will. They do make rear ones that go on the other end, obviously. And unfortunately, they were all out of the rear ones. They're a little bit harder to find, a little more rare. And so if I want to include those on this build at some point, we'll have to source those later down the line. That's okay though. These won't be getting installed anytime soon anyhow, because we need to prep the car out for paint before, and obviously we would want to paint match these in the World Rally Blue that we're going to be repainting the car in. So, but yeah, pretty cool piece. And I honestly don't know if I will put the rear ones on because I'm not sure if I like the look of them. They do look a little extreme for my taste. They flare out really far to the side. They just kind of like stick out and have this really like drastic curve that like pops out from the rear. But I have seen them on those cars before, and they can look nice depending on how the rest of the build is and what other kinds of components and trim pieces you include with them. So we'll see how it goes. It might look really clean to just have the front ones on without the rear. So we also have the version 7 STI JDM headlights here with the OEM ballast. So hopefully these are going to be plug and play, but I'm not really sure yet. I kind of took a look at the back plugs for a minute, and there's definitely some plugs that I'm unsure of if my harness actually clips into or not. We will try it out and see what we can figure out. They're apparently plug and play, but you know, people say that often, and turns out sometimes there's a little more to it than actually plugging something in and expecting it to work. And then these are what I am most excited about. These are the version 7 STI seats, and man, these are so damn cool. They are showing their age a little bit. I have cleaned them up a bit. We might have to clean them up a second time. But they're in really good shape considering their age. In my opinion, these are the best STI seats they ever came out with. The bolstering on them is just so much better than any other seat they've ever made. They just really hug your body in just a much more drastic way. And so these are going to be a really, really nice addition for the car. And so I cannot wait to install these and drive around with them and see how they feel. These are going to be a really, really nice piece to have in there. And finally, our front seats will match the rear seats. So what's cool is I already do have the rear version 7 seat, which isn't quite that, it's not that much different than the even USDM STI seats. The difference is, like, you can see this pattern on the black here. I don't think the USDM seats have that. I think only the version 7 got that pattern through this like black fabric with those like lines with like the subtle navy stripes. So pretty cool, pretty stoked to have these. Drove down to Connecticut actually to pick these up along with those other pieces. After we install that, I have a mirror over here. So I've already pulled the cap off, because what we're gonna do is switch this mirror out with this one over here. Reason being, The clip on this is different. I've had people comment on previous videos stating that I must be doing something wrong because all of the clips are interchangeable. For those of you that did comment that, I do have news for you. You are actually incorrect. There are different clips for these side mirrors. I believe the reason that this one doesn't work with this door is because it actually is a folding side mirror, or like the electric folding side mirror, where in Japan they had a button in their cars that they could hit, and when they turn the key to off, it would just automatically do it. I'm not sure how they exactly work. I've never actually used them or seen them in person, but what it does is the mirror actually folds in, has a little motor that folds it in so that your mirror is just tucked against your door so that it can't get hit by people passing by or whatever. So even though this car is getting painted, I am gonna pull this cap off and switch it over just because we have a lot of stuff to do before that's gonna happen, and I would like my mirrors to match because we already have enough mixed matched panels on this with this fender and then the silver wing back there. So once I pull that mirror off, I will show you the difference in these plugs, and trust me, they are definitely different. The one on the car right now is actually black and it's like longer than this. So we'll get into that and I'll show you the deets when I get there, but just wanted to show you what we are gonna be working on in this video. So enough rambling, let's get to work and get this shifter bezel thrown in first. So this is actually one of the easier trim pieces to access in the car. If you've never done this before, really, it's just about popping this one up and then just make sure you remember you got stuff plugged in under here. For me, it's not only my mirror switch, but the DCCD controls that I now have wired here, which I'm not sure if I showed you guys that, but so if you look right here, this is my little toggle wheel that lets me select through, and that switches it from auto mode back to regular manual mode. So pretty neat how I got those installed there right in the center console. And then this piece just pops up and slides out. The shift knob off. We should be able to slide this over. And there it is. Looks super clean. Very stoked with that piece. The difference isn't totally like that drastic, but that's the other one. And that's the new one. That trim piece definitely does a lot for the interior, if I'm being honest, but you know, it's a matter of opinion. Eye of the beholder type of thing, you know what I'm saying? Those can be picked up for pretty cheap, to be honest. They are getting harder and harder to find though, so. All right, next up guys, let's take care of this mirror. So let's bring this up and I will give you guys a run through on how to pull this off. But first you remove this trim piece. It's pretty easy to pull off. Now you have access to some screws in here. I am missing one right over there, but there's some gold screws inside here. You zip those out and then you should be able to pull the mirror off. All right, so down real quick. I'm actually gonna remove the door card here. So unfortunately, this little trim piece of mine, the door handle is actually broken right here. So be careful pulling these off, but you wanna pull that off to remove the door card. And then there is a screw right here. So you can remove this piece, and then you should be able to just pop this and pull it off. This trim piece here. And you got these clips here, just be careful. They are really, really tight, snug clips. And you don't want to break anything on this. And now we should be able to just pull out on this. Get all the clips to pop. Lift up. She's off. Now we can zip these screws off. So typically you have one in there, two right here, and one over here, so there should be 4 screws. I should just be able to slide this thing right out, like so. All right, let's go compare this with the new one, make sure that we have the right clip. Here's the new one. This is the one that was on the car. This is a black clip, this is the white clip. Now, we compare these two side by side. As you can see, this one is like 2 pins longer on one side than this one. And if you look at the wiring as well, there are 2 extra green wires here that we don't have on this one. So they are in fact different, guys. So, you know, do your research before you buy and source a used mirror. Depends on what vehicle you have. And I'm not sure 100%, but I think this is, like I said, because of the folding mirrors, the electronic folding mirrors from the JDM cars. So I believe that that's why this has this wiring harness. Now, in order to get the mirror cap off, it's pretty simple. You kind of just position the mirror around so you can see the holes in there, that like square hole. That's where these clips snap into, so you want to stick like a screwdriver down in there and kind of push the clips down to free them through that hole. And there's usually adhesive up here too, so it's not gonna just pop right off. You gotta kind of, you know, be patient and work at it, and eventually it will pop off, but just be careful because you can snap these. So we'll pull this one off on this side now. Push that tab in. This side's a little harder to access, but it can be done. There we go. Voila. And thankfully, none of our snaps broke. We're all good. Not gonna worry about the adhesive right now because we are gonna be prepping the car for paint, like I said, here soon. So that would be kind of pointless. And she's in. All right, let's go install this on the car and finally have the right mirror. So, reverse order of what we just did. Clipped in now. Perfect. And last but not least, our lovely version 7 door cards that we have. You can start pushing it on the clips. Now, clip this guy back in. Mousy, quit whining, bud. Put this piece back on. Now, I just want to make sure the button is working. Yes! And it is working. That's so nice to have it finally working. All right, so I decided to start doing some interior detailing because I never actually went through the whole car and actually really cleaned it well, and it needs it. So pulled out the upholstery cleaner there. Floor mats are looking real good. Not perfect, but they're looking way nicer than they were. And hit the carpet inside with that thing as well. And the carpet is looking pretty damn good, especially for 23-year-old carpet. It's in really good shape. Hit the back seat as well. The back seat looks basically new, and I have recruited my lovely wife Erica because she is an interior detail master, and she's wiping everything down for me with this Griot's interior detailer. We've been using a bunch of this stuff from them. We aren't supported by them or anything, but my father has a bunch of this stuff in his garage, and he wanted us to test a bunch of it out and let him know what we thought, and so far I approve. So once we get the interior all cleaned up, we will throw those STI seats in, and I cannot wait to see the transformation and the difference that just a couple of seats make to the interior of this car. What do you think, honey?
It's looking real clean.
Yeah. Is it smelling better, or does it still smell like butt?
It's an interesting mixture.
Oh, make yourself at home, Bean. It's an interesting mixture.
Yeah, it's
of butt smell and
all sorts of cleaner smells.
Cool. So we got that going for us. All right, guys, the interior is all put back together, and man, oh man, does it look really good in here. What a transformation just cleaning the inside of a car can make. Door cards are all spruced up, looking real nice. Was able to get the Alcantara looking almost brand new again on the door cards, so that's cool. And yeah, everything's looking pretty damn good in the back here. Let's check out the front. Looking absolutely awesome in here. Everything is just super clean. And these seats aren't perfect. Like, you can tell there's still some like staining right there, and the fabric's worn right there just from getting in and out. And that was the driver's seat, because that came out of a JDM car. That's the right seat. So the one I'm sitting in actually doesn't have the height adjustment on it, and that's just how it goes when you swap in JDM seats. But yeah, I am super happy with it. It smells way better in here. We need to just figure out something with this. I'll probably just get like a black piece of like plastic or something and fasten it to the back of this trim piece for now, just so it's blocked off and it's tidy in here until we get like a head unit or something, but pretty stoked. All right, so next up is the headlights. Put these up. Let's see what it takes to get the JDM installed and working properly. Taking the stock headlights off these is pretty easy. You got a screw up here, two in the front, and then there's a little prong back here that's got to pop out of a clip, so you just got to kind of pull on it hard enough so it pops out, and then all your wiring clips here. Generally just a couple on the USDM models like that. All right, guys, so upon closer inspection here, so these are the JDM ballasts that I got with the front end clip that I bought years ago, and that's where these headlights actually came from. So these are all the JDM OEM clips. Nothing's really been tampered with on these headlights. So I know that all the wiring is correct and the clips are correct, and the issue is that this is the USDM headlight. The issue is that this plug here is different than plug on the headlights here. So nothing is really plug and play. So we need a harness. Thankfully, it looks like a company called Lightworks actually makes one that will allow you to adapt from this plug here, our input plug from the car, into the ballast and headlight setup here. So unfortunately, we will not be installing these in this video. All right, guys, so I just pushed the car out into the driveway just to kind of check out this interior again out in the daylight, and man, I'm so happy with this. It's really, really coming along, and I'm getting it to a point of how I envisioned it in my head. Just wanted it to be a nice little time capsule from 2002 in Japan, minus the right hand drive aspect. First of all, our lovely, really great condition V7 STI steering wheel with the red stitching. Super nice piece. Really stoked to have it with our version 8 cluster. So doing a little mixing and matching there. Man, I will never get tired of that cluster. It is just so nice to have in here. Obviously you guys have seen the gauges. These are all Innovate gauges, and we do need to do something with this. I'm gonna get like a little block off plate, just because I don't really feel like spending money on a head unit right at this time. I'd rather spend it on other things that actually make the car handle better or perform better, and a head unit is not it. Although it does make it more enjoyable to drive. But yeah, look at how clean everything turned out, man. It's looking so good. My buttons for the DC CD, our nice little shifter trim with the shift boot. The back seats in here, man, they're like damn near mint. Looking real good. Really stoked. Before I wrap up this video, how about a nice cold start? Yeah, sorry this video didn't include too many real exciting things, but you know, just trying to put out every aspect of this build that I can so y'all can follow along and get to see all of the dirty details. I know some of them are more exciting than others. I just want to be able to take you guys along for the ride and show you everything that I do to this car in as much detail as possible, because that is what this channel is about. And it's all about appreciating the process and not getting wrapped up in the world of comparison that YouTube tends to create and other social media tends to create, where we're just always feeling like we're not doing enough or we're not getting things done quick enough. And with project cars, man, that's just not the way. You want to take your time and do it right. And if you're only one guy working on your car in your own home garage or whatever, it's gonna take you a while. So don't buy into this idea that things need to happen quickly, and if you're not doing it quickly, then you suck, or you're not any good, or it's not worth your time, because that ain't the case. I'm here to share my experience with you guys, to hopefully inspire you to know that if I can do it, you can too. So once again, thanks for joining, guys. Really appreciate you being here, and until next time, peace everybody.